And we are live. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kara Sewell, and I'm here today with two amazing experts from Scholarshot, and we are going to be talking about college fairs. They're kicking off, and I know that Scholarshot have a lot of different fairs they're going to be attending over the next couple of weeks, and I'm sure beyond. So, we are here to give you the 411. We're here to give you all the information you need to know before you get to the fair, when you get to the fair, and what to do after the fair, and why they're so important. So, I'm going to introduce our experts first, or I'm going to let them introduce themselves so that you know who they are and how they're involved with Scholarshot, and perhaps you'll see them at your next college fair. So, Heather, you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So, hi, everyone. My name is Heather. I am an academic manager at Scholarshot. A little bit about me. I've been with Scholarshot for almost 2.5 years now. And I attended Texas A&M University. So glad to have you all here and can't wait to learn more things.
Okay, Carlos.
Yes. So my name is Carlos Valadez. I'm the director for Scholar Success for Scholarshot. I've been with Scholarshot for about 8 years. I was the first academic manager in the program and seen it grow so much. A little bit about me. Born and raised in San Antonio, went to Texas A&M University in College Station, and I'm a first-gen graduate.
Okay, so more people hop on. Real quick, do you all remember going to college fairs? And if so, how many? Did you know what to expect when you went, Heather?
Yeah, so I vaguely remember, but I also do remember it's been some time. But attending college fairs, I just remember it just being super overwhelming with all the different colleges, because usually there's like probably about 50 schools in an auditorium. Not only are there 50 schools, but there's that many people. So it's really overwhelming at times. But yeah, that's what I mainly remember from college fairs.
What about you, Carlos?
No, it's been a while. 2005. Oh, actually 2004. Definitely I could definitely remember all the noise and all of the excitement, because as you enter the auditorium, whatever it is, just a lot of things hitting you at the same time. It's like, oh, this is actually going to happen. I'm actually looking into new schools, or is this going to be the thing for me to do or not? And so it's like definitely a lot of anticipation, but excitement, a lot of noise because there's a lot of people talking, and a lot of fun.
That's a really good point, Carlos. So I do remember too, I'm older than all of you. I went to my college fairs in 2000. What? I know. And I do remember feeling pretty overwhelmed and not really knowing what to ask. I remember my parents going with me. My dad is the only one that has a 4-year degree, but he went to school near his hometown. I mean, the college experience or what to do or where do I need to go, had no clue. So I'm so glad you guys are doing this today because I think it's going to help a lot of people. Let's kick it off with College Fair 101. This is your College Fair guide, folks. Okay, so let's talk about what does a recruiter admissions counselor do? Who wants to start?
Yeah, I'll take this one for sure. So, as we mentioned, the college fair process can definitely be very overwhelming. You're going to be interacting with so many multiple people, different tables you're going to be going to. Sometimes you'll be talking to an alumni, you'll be talking to a student ambassador, office financial aid people, or maybe even department recruiters. But the main people that you will be interacting with are people known as admissions counselors. These are people that are hired by the institution to go and promote their respective institution. And so they're there to give you more information about the deadlines, the application process. What is it? What do you need to do to complete the application? And what are the admission standards? Every single institution has a unique form of admissions that they have. So some of them might be rolling admissions or deadlines or open admission. And so it's something very important for students to know and understand as you go and talk to these admissions counselors. Now, be aware that admissions counselors, they do mainly focus a lot more on admissions and getting into the school. So some of these admissions counselors may not be alumni. They might just be professionals that were hired to higher education professionals to help and guide you. And they're going to try and present the information to you as best as they can. So they might not always fully know how much money you're going to be getting according to financial aid. They cannot be promising you what dorms you're going to be staying in or anything like that. They can give you an overgeneralized high level view of what the school can offer you to really help you making your decision for your post-secondary career.
Did not realize that. Okay, very interesting. I was thinking they were going to know it all. Okay, that's good to know. That's why you really need to do your research before, which is sort of like our next point when we talk about doing your research before you go. What kind of research are we talking about, and what does that look like?
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and take over this talking point. So basically, do your research before you go. It sounds exactly what it means. Do your research, figure out what schools are going to be there. Not only what schools, what programs you're thinking about you're interested in, because not all schools have the same programs, same organizations, class size, everything like that. So do your research of like asking questions that pertain to what your reach in your safety school and your match school are. And now I can go a little bit more in details about that. So making sure your reach school is a school that say you have a 1100 SAT, but the requirements are a 1300. So that's kind of more of a far reach in order for you to get into that school. Your safety school is, okay, this place is, I know I can get in. It's below what I have. I have 1100. Their requirements are 1000. I know for sure I'll get in. And then a match school is something that's maybe a little bit more rigorous, but it's something that is definitely attainable and doable. So let's say you're reaching for a 1200 and you have 1100, totally doable, or maybe 1150. That's more of your match school. And not only that, it pertains to your major, your class sizes, campus size, all those different things that we don't really think about when we're choosing schools. We're just thinking about, oh, this school is a great name. I want to go here. I want to go to A&M because it's such a great school name. No, not only that, you need to do research about what programs they have. For example, I know like construction science or art, a theater or fine arts program, those are very niche schools and niche programs. So you need to find the perfect, as I said, perfect match and fit for yourself. So yeah.
Good information. Okay, so I do want to mention right now as people continue to hop on. So if you are joining us, there's a comment section. You can comment below and we'll get to those questions. And if you're joining us and this program has already aired, because we're going to be sending this out too, because it will record, leave a comment in the comment section anyways, because we're always monitoring social media. And so we'll be able to reply to those questions. So it's never too late to ask a question. I just want to make sure I get that point across to people who are watching right now and who will be watching later. Most people actually end up watching it a little bit later. So that's great. It's fine. Still leave your questions. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's talk about collecting contact information. This is something that is for more than one reason.
Right. So with the college fairs, you will be visiting, once again, multiple different people from different schools. So you'll be dealing with universities, colleges, or community colleges. And so it's definitely very important for students and parents to get to know, like, who are you talking to? If they're also an alumni or if they're a student, whatever, like, getting to know that information, because at the end of it, the admissions professionals, admissions counselors can be your best friend. They can help and guide you and walking alongside you to make sure that you are completing your application by the deadline, making sure that you are doing all that. Sometimes they can even assist you with providing some fee waivers to apply towards your application. And so it's definitely important just to not go and just to go into your main top school and then like, oh, I want to walk away. More, it's like you're there starting a conversation with the admissions professional, just be able to go through that process, learn more about the school, learn more what it can offer you, and then at that point, exchange information. See if they have a business card, and follow up with them. Because once again, they can walk you through the admissions process, and make sure that you are completing your application. One thing that's really important, as well as like understanding if big institutions have regional offices. So there are big schools which tend to be like the big three schools in the state of Texas: Texas Tech, A&M, and UT have a regional office in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And sometimes you can submit specific documentation to those regional offices, and that be considered as complete. So they're meant to, once again, help the process a little bit easier. So it's very important to know who you're working with, and how, and the people's names and stuff like that, because once again, they're people too. So they like to see the success stories, like, oh, I helped out this person go through this process, and now they're so excited because they got an admissions, and I got to be a part of that. And yeah, so we all want to be part of those situations.
Let me ask you, so do you say, like, if a student is going to come up and they're talking about fee waivers, do you just straight up ask? Or is that something you ask in a follow-up email if you get a business card? How does that work?
Well, we definitely deal with a bunch of different students. Some might be a little more timid, some might be a little more extroverted and whatnot. And so it's fair to ask those questions. It's totally fair. Like your admissions professional, admissions counselors, they know how to help and provide you this information. And if they don't know, they want to get that to you as soon as possible. So it's fair to ask those questions. And the worst thing they can say is say no. And you're still in the same position as you were moving forward, and doesn't negatively impact your way of life at that point.
Nope. I always say ask.
You don't know what you don't know, essentially.
That's a good point. And most of us, if you've never been to school before in college, like, people who are watching have not, then we get it. Okay, so let's talk about preparing a list of questions. There's a lot that goes into this.
Yeah, so when preparing a list of questions, it's very daunting to think about what type of question. At most times, majority of the times, you don't even know what kind of questions you need to ask or how to ask them, or even know what type of information you're looking for, and that's totally fine. So we have prepared a list of questions that could pertain to you, that might be helpful to your situation, your needs as a student, as a person. So one of the first questions we have is, what academic programs are the most popular at school? So maybe you're unsure, you're going into school as undecided, a general studies major. You can ask what programs there are, what are the most popular programs, and then maybe you can get an idea to go from there of what major you plan on pursuing later on. Not only that, also, you can ask, since they are kind of admissions rep counselors and recruiters, you can ask, what kind of student are you looking for? And they'll tell you what admissions requirements are they looking for. And not only that, you can ask, like, hey, I don't have the GPA, as again, what we were talking about as your safety reach in your match school. You can ask, hey, I don't have the GPA you're looking for. Are there other areas I can qualify to be enrolled in the school or to be accepted into the school? And they'll tell you they're looking for a student who's involved in extracurriculars, or who has worked or has taken different positions, just someone who is maybe overall, and that's called a holistic approach. And so what a holistic approach is they look at you as an overall student. So you can ask them these questions that they know, and ask, do you do a holistic approach? They will more than likely know. Not only that, also ask, what makes your campus special? So, for example, I know I went to Texas A&M University, and of course, some of you or many of you may not know, but it is a very, very traditional school. So they have traditions from the moment you arrive to campus, from the moment you leave campus. So figuring out what school you kind of want to go to. Are those traditions important to you? Are going to football games important to you? Or is it like, what makes it special for you? And you ask those questions, what pertains to yourself and what needs you need. Is it first generation friendly? Is it a Hispanic leading institution? Is it a predominantly white institution? Those are questions you need to ask, because those are what's going to make the campus special to you. So yeah, those are just a few of the questions we have prepared.
No, those are great questions. Is there anything you want to add to that, Carlos? I know we're kind of getting to the end of our list that we have here.
No, that's definitely fine. So with the whole entire process of asking those questions, I think the key important thing is being respectful. I've been at admissions counselors before. I've been on the other side of the table, and sometimes, like, we are there standing for 2+ hours, and this is probably not our first fare. And so being respectful in that process, that's going to be good, key, and ideal. But additionally, I mean, I want to definitely say like the student specific research does not end before the college fair. You should be using the college fair as an opportunity to research other institutions. If you have your idea top schools that you want to apply to, don't waste your time going to those tables because you already sold. You already know what you want to do. But look at other schools that are around you. See what small schools that you've never considered. Be open to that because the worst thing you can do is not give yourself options. You want to be able to give yourself the opportunity to shop around. What if your ideal school is not going to give you a good amount of financial aid? What then? Look at different institutions. Be open to asking the questions. Be respectful, and then just follow up. And so I think like ultimately the college fair process once again can definitely be very overwhelming and whatnot. And go with it with a mission of just learning more for yourself because you take control of what you're going to do post your high school career, and no one else is going to guide you through that process.
Let me ask you, for people who are coming to your booth where you're at, what will you all be providing? What will you all be offering?
So we will be definitely attending a different college fairs throughout the DFW area, just to be able to help and promote our program. And so we are promoting our Scholarship Scholar program, where we help students and guide students throughout the college career process. So we help out first generation at-risk college students go through the college process to make sure that whatever you are doing is to the best pathway for you, and that you're going to the school that is the best academic, financial, and socially fit. And so we will partner along with you, make sure that you are doing what you need to be doing to graduate on time with little to no debt. Additionally, we'll be promoting our new initiative within our organization known as the GAP app. It is a free app that we've developed for any single student in the Texas area to learn and research more about what is the school that's going to be the best financial and academically fit. This is once again a free tool for any single student. You can easily download this on your app, on your phone, smartphones out there, or go online and set up an account. And you can put in some information about yourself as well as the academic and help that within your overall research to find what is the school that is the best fit.
All right. I wanted to make sure you got that plug in. I even had the graphic ready to go. Anything else before we let both of you go today?
I would just like to say one thing. Don't be afraid to ask questions. I know as someone who is introverted, and I know if you are an introverted person, maybe ask your friend to ask the questions instead, because I know it can be daunting to ask the school that you're really, really wanting to go to questions about, like just general questions. So that can be daunting, but that's okay. They are, like, as we say, they're human too. They're a person. They're there to support you and to guide you and to answer those questions that you have. So don't feel afraid.
Yeah, there really are no silly questions. There are not. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Well,
and
guys,
the college fair experience should not only be 15 minutes. They're there for about 2 to 3 hours. So use that time wisely. Don't just stand on the sidelines and just look at the people, and don't just go to a table because they have cool knickknacks. Actually ask questions.
If you're going to get a pin, stay there and get some more information, right?
Exactly.
All right, Carlos, Heather, thank you so very much. We appreciate your time today. And again, if anyone's watching and has comments, make sure you go ahead and leave those and we'll check with them later. And listen, have fun at the college fairs. I know you have a busy season ahead. Good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys. Bye.